Happy Friday, everyone. I'm glad you're here. Let me get my chat up for YouTube and then we'll be all set. Hope you're all happy that it's Friday. It's been a kind of a busy week for me. They've been busy a lot lately, which is kind of surprising, but my online business has been keeping me hopping. So I'm glad you're here. I decided to do something a little different this time. I am going to make 3 cards. Instead of having it all centered on one stamp set, I'm going to do one card sketch and show you different ways you can manipulate a card sketch. It also helped me to get these cards together real quick since I used the same sketch and just had to tweak a few things. I just want to be able to show you how to do that. It's a lot of fun. I love card sketches. You can find those on Pinterest. And I'm planning, this, like I said, things have been crazy. I'm planning on doing a customer only Facebook group. I'll give you more information on that once I get it all set up. I'm going to do card sketches and little fun things like that too. So can't wait to get that started. I've been wanting to do that for a long time. So since I can't do classes here, I'm trying to get online stuff going. So let's go ahead. Since I'm waiting for some more people to come on, I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the business stuff real quick, and then we'll get to the stamp, and I'll give everybody a chance to get on. So let's see, switch to this. Paper Pumpkin. They just revealed the colors. I haven't advertised this one too much, but the, oh, sorry, I just hit my microphone. Hope that didn't mess you up. All of the brand new in colors are in this kit. So you can see those in the picture. Aren't those pretty? There were some really pretty colors. So they revealed all the in colors to everybody. So that's what this is going to be centering on. Center in color, celebrate in color, I mean. So if you want to get this kit, make sure you subscribe by May 10th. That's the last day you can subscribe to get this this certain Paper Pumpkin kit. And I've got the link to the subscribe button down below. Just find the subscribe to Paper Pumpkin link below in the description. And then I want to tell you real quick, for those of you that were with me last week, you know we did the group of ladies that are pictured here plus one more. She didn't do the Zoom with us, are going to be back to do another quick Facebook party. We did one last weekend that was 24-hour. It's a lot of fun. We had over 100 people join us. It was so much fun interacting with everybody. We're going to do another one to show off our favorite retired products. So if you're interested in joining that, I've got the link to the group below, and then there'll be 3 questions that pop up after you hit the join button. Make sure you answer all 3 of those questions, and my answers are in the description below. The first one asks for the demonstrator, which would be my name, Christy Fulk. Then a host code, which I can't remember that top of my head, but I've got that down in the description. And then the third question asks you if you're a demonstrator. Now this classes we're just doing for just our customers. So I'm sorry, those of you that are watching our demonstrators, this one isn't for you this time. This is just for our customers. And you have to be from the U.S. because per Stampin' Up rules, we can only do business with USA customers. So I thought I'd let you know about that. But like I said, all the information that you need to be able to join the class is below in the description. And you'll be added to the group probably sometime Monday or Tuesday, right before it starts. Because we're still adding stuff to the page. We won't want you on it just yet. Okay, now I want to show you first the card sketch I came up with. This is the card sketch that I'm using. It's a very simple one. That's why I put in the title, a very easy card sketch. And I want to show you the different looks you can get with this one card sketch. And I'll be turning it around. It can be any shape like I put in there. So I've got one that is a square. The first one I'm going to do is going to look exactly like this sketch. Then the next 2 are going to be a little different. I'll be tweaking them each time. So whenever you have a card sketch, if you have a ton of cards you want to make, but you want them all to look a little different, this is a way you can do it. So let's go ahead and switch to my screen to start making the card. I'm going to be using, on the first card, the Accented Bloom stamp set. Now, I am using stamp sets that are retiring too. That list came out, a couple days ago. Sounds like my husband's beating something upstairs. Hopefully it's not bugging you. We've got Accented Blooms. I have always loved this stamp set, and it's retiring, so I want to make sure I use that a few more times before we can't anymore. I'm also using the Layered Leaves embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder. This one is also retiring, and I have used this one a lot. I love this one. I'm going to miss it. Okay, so let's go ahead and grab a piece of Rococo Rose. And this is a regular card base, 8.5 by 5.5. So I'm going to fold this in half. Grab my bone folder. Oh, I need to get my YouTube chat back up. Hold on just a second, just in case anybody's on. Okay, grab my bone folder. Get that nice and ready. Put that over to the side. Now I wanted to show you, I already embossed this. This is a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of crumb cake. And you just put it inside the folder and you put it through your die cutting machine with a fold first. That helps protect your folder. Hi Vivian, over on YouTube this time. So here's the, isn't that pretty? You can definitely see the imprint on this. And I love the 3D effect because some of the leaves aren't as, don't stand up as much as the others. I love our 3D folders. So there's that piece. Then need a piece of Whisper White. This is, let's see, 3 1/4 by 3 1/4, I do believe. Yes, it is. And I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And I do believe these are retiring too, which I was like, I love these. I think there might be something else. I have to look. I've only looked through the new catalog a couple times. Yes, I got to see it online. That's one of the many wonderful perks you get as a demonstrator. Hi, Sandy. Glad you're here. Oh, from Canada. Glad you're here. Okay. Oops, I grabbed the wrong ink pad. I want my memento on this one. So I'm using this great big one. Whenever I use big stamps, I ink it up upside down. I put the stamp upside down and then ink it up with my ink pad that way. I just think it's a lot easier to see that you've got it covered up. I better stand up on this one because this just fits in this piece. I didn't want it to have a lot of white space everywhere. I think I've got that pretty good. You hold that down. The reason I'm using the Stampin' Pierce mat is because these larger stamps, I think it supports them better. See, isn't that perfect? It's stamped really nice. Now I'm going to color these in with Stampin' Blends. So I'm going to go ahead and leave my scrap paper here. I keep getting out of the screen. Sorry about that. My camera's in a little different area, so I'm having to go to a different part on my screen, on my work table, I mean. I'm going to bring in my Rococo Rose. Now, I'm not going to color this whole thing in because that would take forever. So I'm just going to show you how to get it started. So now I've seen a lot of people start with the light. I always start with the dark. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up where all these lines are in these petals and ink those up with my dark Rococo Rose. And then the spot that's in between the lines, just make it a little shorter because I want it to be a jagged line. So I think you can see that. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do a few petals here so you get the idea. Now, go over here. And then on the ones behind that don't have any lines, I'm just going to put a little bit of dark right there at the base of them. Okay, so that's enough petals so you can get the idea. And I'll do the same thing with this one. This is also another Rococo Rose right here. Then I'm going to take my light Rococo Rose, and I'm going to color over the dark and color in the rest of it with a light Rococo Rose. Now, one thing you've probably noticed if you've seen the retired list, and I forgot to put links to the retired list, I'll do that as soon as the video's over. I'll put them in the description too. But you're going to color these in, and then I think you can see this. Let me bring it up a little closer so you can see it. The dark is just a little too dark. I want it to blend a little better than that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go over where the two shades meet and color some more. And that makes them blend very nicely. So I'll hurry up and do another one so you can see the difference. See how this one is blended better than this one. This one you can see the contrast between the shades, and those are blended in. Love our blends. And then if you ever get on here and start blending and you blend away too much, just add more dark. You just keep adding until it looks the way you want it to. And then I decided to do the centers with crumb cake. Now these colors I picked out are from the designer paper I'm using. I'm using the Pretty Petals Designer Series paper. This is also paper that is retiring. This paper is wonderful. It's a specialty paper because it's thinner than the other designer papers that we have. And you get, I think, 4 of each design. It's got more pages to it because it is thinner. It's a really nice set. Okay, now I'm going to bring in that crumb cake. I'm just going to color the dark crumb cake here in the middle, like so. And then color the whole thing with the light crumb cake. So I wanted to have the center be a different color than what the petals are going to look like. So that's how that color is all colored in. Then I decided to make these blue. So what I did, I don't know if you can tell, get a little closer for you. It's just little bitty, I'm not sure what this is called. If any of you know, comment below and let me know. I want to say, I know it's not a cornflower. I can't think what these are called. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the shading under each little petal with the dark navy. So this is what this one is dark navy. Oh, and I was telling you something I forgot. I am so good at that. I get going on a sentence, get to working, and forget to finish the sentence. You'll notice a bunch of the Stampin' Blends on the retired list. They are not retiring. They're just getting reconfigured. So if you want to buy individuals, like just the light or just the dark, you'll need to do that now before June 2nd or before they sell out, because they can sell out quickly. After June 2nd, when the new catalog starts, they're going to be available just as the combo. They said they had, most people were just buying them as a combo. They weren't buying the individuals. It just wasn't worth their while to keep offering them separately. So I want to give you that tidbit. So don't worry, don't think, oh no, the Stampin' Blends are retiring. It's just that they're not going to be available individually anymore. Okay, so now I've got that dark done. Bring that up so you can see that. Now I'm going to bring in the light navy blue and color that in completely. I think this is such a pretty blue. I love it. I want to do this whole flower just so you can see what I've done. You can kind of see how there's, hopefully you can see it. Sometimes in videos it's hard to tell, but there's nice little shading there. The dark might be still a little too dark, so I'll go over some of the dark with the light again, and that gets it all blended together. So that's how I colored that in. The other flowers, I promise you'll see the whole thing finished here in a minute. I just want to give you all the pointers on how I colored each one in. So with these yellow ones, these are yellow here. So you just do the same thing with these. Do the base of the petals with the dark yellow, daffodil light that is. And then the light daffodil light, I'm going to color these in. And where those two colors meet, make sure I get those blended in. So now we've got the yellow. And last but not least, we're going to do these leaves with Mossy Meadow. And the way I do these, where the lines are, I'm doing the dark, but I'm going to do them kind of jagged. It's not going to be a straight line. Leaves are not straight lines, so we want to make them look a little more like real leaves. So I've got that colored in. I'm going to bring this up a little closer to you. This is me just coloring over the dark again with a light Mossy Meadow. Bring it up, and you can kind of, oops, wrong. You can kind of see how it's a little too dark still. So I'm going to blend those together again, and you get the nice blended shading. So pretend that with magic of television, I got all of this colored in, and voila, here it is all done. Oops, keep going over to where my camera used to be. Isn't that gorgeous? I love working with our blends. It is so pretty. Now I'm going to grab a scrap piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to grab the thank you, oh there it is, the thank you block that's in the accented blooms. And this works perfect with our tailored tag punch. Now this is not retiring. This will still be around if I'm remembering right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in my crumb cake ink pad. Hi Susan, see you over on YouTube. I'm glad you're here. So I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat again, because this is such a bold stamp. I want to make sure I get a nice good impression. Now I am only going to stamp over to the side, because this is going to get punched out, and I want to have something to hold on to when I go to punch it out. So I'll turn this over. I always forget. No, that did that right. So now I've got something to hold on to. I'm going to stick that in. I'm going to turn it so I can see it, and then I'll bring it back to you. Get it all in there even. Pop it out. I love how this goes perfectly in this little framed piece right here. Now I wanted this popped up a little bit. So actually, let's do that in just a minute. I don't want to pop it up just yet, because I need to put this on this 2.5 by 2.5 piece of Night of Navy. Grab my snail. Snail is retiring. We're getting an adhesive that's supposed to be wonderful, though. That's we got a video from Sarah and Shelley Gardner. Well, Shelley Gardner, Sarah Douglas. And they love the new adhesive. And it looks to me like you get more in a container, too. I have to double check that. It seems like you get a little more in a container. So it's going to be worth your while. But it's supposed to stick really well. So if you want to get your snail refills, these are probably going to sell out really quick. So make sure you get those as soon as possible. So I've got that on my 2.5 by 2.5 piece of Night of Navy. And let's go ahead and put this on the card, get the card going here. Now I'm going to bring in, I wanted to have a border on this. I thought that needed a little something, looked a little too bland without anything behind it. So this, I just made it 1/8 of an inch wider. So this is 2 1/8 by 4 1/4, and this is 5 1/4. So this is 2 1/8 by 5 1/4, 2 by 5 1/4 with this one. So I'll grab my snail, there we go, and get this on the blue one. I just thought it was nice to have a little bit of a break between the crumb cake color that's on here and the crumb cake on my embossed cardstock. That on there. Now we're going to put this on here, and like if you've seen my videos before, you know I like to use multi-purpose glue on embossed images because the glue just seems to get into the grooves and stuff in the cardstock better, and it stays on a lot better. And that had a little bubble, so I'm going to push some of this down so it doesn't go seeping out. It's a lot easier to glue stuff when you're holding the paper up because you can tell how hard you're squeezing that glue bottle. And I'm going to put this over here on the left, like so. There we go. And now we'll go ahead and put this on the card base. So bring in that glue again. See, this even looks neat debossed. I don't know if you can tell the difference. There's the embossed and there's the debossed. I have loved this folder. Going to miss it a lot, but we've got some good ones coming up, so I'm excited about the new stuff that's coming. Okay. And now my sketch had the paper on the strip on the left, so I'll make sure I get that on there right, because this one is going to go exactly with the sketch. I'll show you a picture of that again here in a minute for those of you that might have missed it. And if you are coming in late, you can see the beginning of the video as soon as the live's over. The recording will pop up right afterward. So we've got that ready to go. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this on the card. Get that all covered up here. There we go. And the sketch showed the shape down here near the bottom. Now this one is a little bigger than what I was showing on my card sketch, but that's okay. That still is the sketch. This one now I'm going to put on with dimensionals. The reason I want to do this last, I think it's a lot easier to put these on when it's still flat. This would have gotten in the way with the dimensionals. So I'll grab my dimensionals, put one on each end, and I think probably just one in the middle will be good enough. Let me see, I don't think that's going to wobble. Nope, that feels good. Bring in my take your pick tool and do the little trick I've learned. You go in at an angle and scoop it up. You don't want to go straight up and down because that is not going to come off. You scoop it off, and sometimes even then I don't get hold of it. There we go. And that way they're all on they're not flying all over your house, and then you just put them in your trash. So put them in my dish over here. And then this will fit perfectly in that little space. I'm at an angle, so hopefully I'm getting it on there right. There we go. So that's the outside of the card all done. Isn't that pretty? I love this stamp. It's been one of my favorites for a long time, and I haven't been able to do it much because I've been using all my new stuff. So let's go ahead and decorate the inside real quick, though. Grab my grid paper again. And one thing I have to admit, I missed this. When you look at this stamp set, see these little stamps right here? I totally have never used those before because I didn't, you know how you look at things and you don't realize they're there for a while? That's what happened to me. Because I'm like, what am I going to stamp on the inside of my card this time? And then I thought, oh, these little stamps are adorable. So that's what I'm going to do on the inside. Let's go ahead and get my tuxedo black out again. I'm just going to put them right across the bottom at a weird angle, so hopefully I'm going to get them straight. They don't have to be perfect, but I'm going to alternate them. There, and yep, looks like we'll have room for those leaves again. There we go. And then I'm going to color those in real quick. These won't take that long, so I didn't do any of these ahead of time. So I'm using the Cocoa Rose, the dark in the middle. Make sure I did get the dark. Nope, that's the light. I thought that looked light. Let's grab the dark. I'm going to do the center like this. I'm going to center this in real quick. Grab my light Rococo Rose and get those shades blended. But doesn't this make a cute little border for the inside? I love that. Okay. Oh, I've got some more people coming on. Somebody from Colorado. Hi, Kathy. Okay, and let's see. Oh, yeah, I got those done. Got a little sidetracked there for a second. Sorry about that. Let's grab my dark Mossy Meadow. And we'll do a line here and here. Now, these I'm not making too much of a squiggly line just because they're so small. I'm not going to worry about making that. I still want that little bit of shading, though. And then the ones that don't have any lines, I'm not going to worry about them because they're so small, it's hard to get all that shading in there anyway. So if you don't want to mess with the shading on the inside of these, that is totally okay. Just go ahead and do the light or the dark. I would probably go with the light for the whole thing because the dark might be a little too dark. So get all of those colored in. And as you can see, I am using even my brush tip on the little ones. If you definitely want to use a light touch when you use these because your point will start fraying if you go too hard. I've got a few of these starting to fray. This one's still in good shape, but I've got a few that are starting to fray because they've been used by others that did them way too hard. You barely have to put any pressure, and that way you don't ruin your brush tip and it still colors perfectly. So there we go. We've got a really neat border at the bottom, and we'll hurry up and put this on the inside of the card real quick. Normally I just use snail, but since I've got this out close by, well, I've got the snail to my right too, I guess, but this works. Turn this over, open it up first, of course, and now I've got my inside all ready to go. Yeah, Kathy isn't the stamp, so I'm going to miss the stamp set a lot. But there we go. And I took all the colors from the pressed petals paper that's also retiring. So I used a lot of retired stuff there, and that is the card sketch. So let me show you again, refresh your memory. There's the card sketch, and there's my card. Let me get my chat back up again. There we go. So now we're going to make another one where it's going to be a little different. Now, since I've got so many cards here, let me hurry up. I'm going to clean these stamps and then get them out of my way. Normally, I don't worry about that, but I need to have room to work. That was one thing when I would make 3 cards all with the same stamp set. I'd only have 1 stamp set to have to deal with. I've got a few stamp sets on this table. Okay, get the crumb cake out of the way. Get all my blends out of the way. Get those in my little dish here. I think we're about ready. I didn't clean out the big one. That's okay. I've got a place to put it back here. Okay, now we are going to use the Mosaic 3D folder on this card. This, you can see the design a lot better than the layered one. This is another 3D folder that's going to be retiring. I'm using the Kindness and Compassion stamp set. This is also retiring. This is a really good greeting set. I like this one a lot. I'll be using the thank you in this one. Let me get this punch out of the way. I don't need that anymore either. There we go. I'm also using the Peaceful Poppies Elements. These are kind of a mess right now, but these are retiring. Now, most of the things in the suite, well, the designer paper is retiring and the sequins are retiring. I can't remember everything, but I know that both bundles are still available, which I'm so happy about. But I wanted to start using my elements before they were gone. Let me show you a piece. There we go. You get 2 of each. So you get 2 of these vellum ones. I love having the white embossing on that. You also get 2 of these watercolor ones. This is cool. I don't know if you can tell. They are embossed with white. There, I think you can tell in the light. Then if you go over it with ink, like you watercolor over it, the embossing resists the ink and it just gives a really neat watercolor effect. And this is actually on watercolor paper. So those are really neat. So you get 2 of each of those. And you also get 2 each of these that are black embossed, a border, a banner, and a circle. So everything I'm using on my card, let me get all these pieces together. I am using this one. All right, take that back. I'm using this. Oh, I was right the first time. I'm using this one. This one has the little one on the other side, which is fine, but this is the look I'm going for. So I'm going to be using this one. I'll put that in my little dish. And I'm also using this one with a bunch. So those are the flowers I'm using in the set. I'm also going to use this border. And this card is going to come together really quick. You're going to be amazed how quick this one goes. So those are all the elements I'm using from here. So once again, this is the Peaceful Poppies Elements. And if you want these, you'll want to get them as quickly as possible before they sell out. So they're while supplies last or until June 2nd. Okay, let me grab my cardstock for this card. Using the colors that's in the designer paper again. This is Poppy Parade. get that out of the way. And we're going to go ahead. This is another 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to fold it in half again. The trick is to always make sure those corners are matched up and everything else matches up just fine. Now, the card, we were doing a portrait card. This one's going to be a landscape. So I'll show you the difference, but I'm still using the sketch. All I'm doing is rotating it a little bit. So I just want to show you the different looks you can get. So this is a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 Old Olive. And this is from the Peaceful Poppies Designer Series paper. Now this is retiring too. Another beautiful paper, set of paper. This one is another 5 1/4 by 2. So this is, all the designer paper I'm using is the same size on each card. So this one's another 5 1/4 by 2. This is the side I'm going to use. So let's grab my snail. I'm going to grab my silicone mat. Because I am finding out there are times when I'm doing videos, I go farther than I need to, and I get glue on my work surface. And I'm getting tired of doing that. So I'm going to put that silicone mat under. If I go over, the adhesive just rubs right off. Love that. So I'm going to put this along the bottom. I'm still leaving that little bit of a gap at the bottom, like I did with the sketch. The sketch was like this, with a little bit of showing, but we're doing it this way. And now I will grab that little circle. Now, when we had the sketch, it would have been like this. So we're rotating it to the right, and now we're going to have it like this. But I'm going to take this border first. Now, this border is too short to go all the way across. So what I'm doing, I know I'm not going to have much showing over here. So I'm going to take my paper snips, and I'm going to just cut off 2 scallops over here on the right. Okay. Bring in my snail. And I'm going to line it up. See, I don't know if you can see this. There's a little straight edge here on the end. Let me get that up there. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a little straight edge. That top of that straight edge is what I'm going to line up with the top of the Designer Series paper. So I'm going to put that right there. And we'll put snail. I'm just going to go ahead and put it all the way across. And once again, what am I doing wrong here? Oh, there we go. I was going to do it upside down. So each end has a little straight edge at the bottom. So I'm going to line that up again. That way I know that these are going to be lined up pretty straight. Looks like it's angled just a little bit, so pop it up a little. There we go. So we've got that space there. Oh, I'm coming out of the video. I'm sorry. So we've got that space. Now I'm going to grab this, put some snail on it, and it's just going to go right here in between, like so. Now I'm going to bring in my thank you from that Kind and Compassion stamp set. Use my Tuxedo Black Memento. And I'm going to stamp it right above my border. There we go. I thought that was a perfect length for this card. I didn't realize I was doing 2 thank you cards until I got done with all of them. And let's go ahead and put this on the card base now. Yes, this card is super quick since we're using those elements. I'm going to pop that right on here. And I'm going to grab my little flowers. And this one I'm just going to put on with my snail. And this one here I'm going to use dimensionals to pop it up. I always like to use dimensionals. So I'm going to put this in about right here. Like so. Grab my trusty dimensionals. I'm going to put one under the big flower and one under the smaller one. That should be plenty. Get those off. And then, oh, are you hearing static? Is it getting any better? Could be my microphone again. Let me see. Is that any better? I'm going to keep going because there's always a delay. Let me know, Sandy, if you're still hearing it. Could be my microphone, or it could be the internet. We were having trouble with the party that online party I did last week with the internet messing up, and Facebook having. Sometimes on Fridays there's so many people on Facebook it messes things up too. Is it doing better? Good. It could be I loosened it up when I was grabbing something, so that good. I'm glad it's working again. I like it when I can fix something quick. So there's the front of the card. So this was put on with dimensionals. But see how those elements made that card so quick. Now, of course, we have to do our little inside. Oh, I forgot I am using another element. I wanted to use one of, I'm going to grab one from the one that I've been taking stuff out of. One of these tall ones here. And we'll put Thanks for letting me know, Sandy, about that. That's one thing. I've got my sound turned down, so I can't hear myself. So whenever there's something wrong, you guys let me know. That helps out a lot. Thank you so much. So I'm sticking that on the left corner, bottom corner, and we'll just pop this in on the inside. Now, don't do what I have done with cards before. I make so many portrait ones, I forget when I'm making it. Sometimes I'll do this, and I would have put this down here, and then it would not have looked right because it would have been cockeyed inside my card. So I'm going to go ahead and put this right in the middle. There we go. So now the inside is done. Look at the inside and the outside. So let me grab the first card. This is the one that went directly with the card sketch. And this is the one where the card sketch was just rotated. So that's two different ways you can use that card sketch. And now here's the third way. I could have done 4, but I ran out of time, so we're just doing 3 this time. Now I'm using, let me get some of this stuff out of the way, the Honeybee Bundle. This one has been super popular, that it was not available there for a little while. And now it's back, but it's only back for a little while. I'm so sad. This one is also retiring. So if you want to get this, get it right away, because I have a funny feeling they're going to sell out really quick. I wanted to make sure I got a birthday card made with this set. Now, there is no birthday on this. I'm going to use another set, but I wanted to make a birthday card to be in this set. I could have done another thank you card for that matter, but there's some nice little greetings in this too. And I love how this one goes perfectly above the hive. I've done that on a few cards. So the only dies I'm going to be using this die, both of my bee frame dies, and the honeycomb die. So put those over to the side. Bring in my cardstock. Oh, there we go. I'm getting a pile over here. I'm also using the Peaceful Moments stamp set. This one is staying available. This is part of that Peaceful Poppies suite. So you can still get this, but I wanted to use that birthday stamp on that one. And I'm also using the stitched rectangle dies. I can't remember that's another thing I want to tell you too. If you look at the retired list, they have some dies that are on there. They're just being reconfigured. So they will still be available. So if you see 4 stars next to the name of the die set, they're coming back. If there are no stars, then they really are retiring and going to be gone forever. But they're having to reconfigure a few of them for the new die cutting machine we're getting. I've gotten to see it. It's wonderful, but it's not going to be available as soon as the catalog starts, but it's going to be real soon after. But I'll give you information on that as soon as we get more. But you're going to love it. It's really cool. I can't wait to use it. So I'm using the number 5 die. Whenever I count them, I start from the smallest. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this was the 5th one. So this is the one I'm using in the card. Need a piece of crushed curry. This is the same 8.5 by 5.5 as always. Now this is going to be another portrait card. So get that folded like so. That's ready to go. Here is my piece of mint macaron. This is with that mosaic folder. Isn't that cool? I love the pattern on this one too. This is a 4 by 5.25. And then we've got our, this is from the Mosaic Mood Designer Series paper that is also retiring. Now this time, since I'm turning the my sketch one more time, we're going to put this over here on the right instead of on the left. So grab my glue. Now the neat thing with this paper, can't believe I'm covering this one up. I don't know if you can see that in the light, but it's got gloss to it. So all those images have some gloss to it, which is pretty neat. But this was the side that looked better with what I was going for. This didn't look right with the bees. So I'm going to put some glue on this. And then I'm going to put it over here on the right, like so. Hold it down just for a few seconds to make sure that glue gets soaked in really good. Now, getting ahead of myself here. Okay, this piece right here, this one is a 3 by 4.25. This is the one that I die cut this rectangle out of. That's how that one goes on. And then after you die cut it, you get this piece. I love the stitching in that. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to bring in my Happy Birthday stamp in bright Tuxedo Memento Black again. Oop, I had a camera move on me. Hold on a sec. There we go. Then I'm going to stamp my Happy Birthday here at the bottom. Okay. And I decided I was going to use some ribbon on this. So I'm bringing in some crushed curry, crinkled seam binding ribbon. This is retiring also. I love the look of this one. Bring in my silicone mat again. So I'm going to put some snail on each end of this one. And then I'm going to wrap it right above that happy birthday. Oops, that stuck a little bit. There we go. Get that wrapped around. Try to keep it straight. And there we go. A little cockeyed, but that's okay, not too bad. Then I'm going to bring in this other 4-inch piece. I'm going to slide it underneath and tie it on with a single knot. Oops, slipped out of my hand. I always just use a single knot when I tie like this. It saves on ribbon using 2 different pieces, and it also, I think, gives you more control. And you only have to do a single knot, and you don't have a little tight looking knot. Grab my scissors, oh, there they are, and cut these at an angle. And the other neat thing about doing it this way, if I decided I wanted to put this over to the left, I could slide it over, but I want it there in the middle. So I'm going to get it in the middle better. So there, we've got that ready to go. Put that to the side. Now I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White again. This one is 4 3/4 by 3. I'm going to grab this hive, and I'm going to stamp it with the crushed curry. Now this is another stamp. I don't need the silicone mat anymore. Another stamp that is pretty bold, so I'm going to get that Stampin' Pierce mat underneath it to get a nice firm image so I don't have blotches. Hold that down. There we go. And now I'm going to stamp the 2 bees. I'm using this Tuxedo Black Memento a lot today. I'm going to stamp my 2 bees on here. Put one here. Isn't the detail in those wings, isn't that gorgeous? Love that. And then the little bee, and he's got the same detail in the, oops, didn't stamp him very well. I think I've still got room over here. There we go. Oh, much better. So you can see the detail in his wings too. Now I'm going to grab a crushed curry Stampin' Right marker. This is from the Regals collection. I'm going to use the brush tip on this one, and I'm just going to color in real quick the stripes of my little bee, and even this little decorative stripe here, because even if you color over the black, you're not going to be able to tell. The black hides the yellow. So now I've got these guys colored in. Isn't that pretty? I love the way they pop. And then I will die cut these. I'll show you how nicely they line up. You want to kind of pay attention to the legs and the antennas. Hi, Betty. Glad you're here. There we go. So that lines up nicely. This is the last card I've made. I've been making cards, 3 different cards with the same card sketch, but showing how you can change it up a lot. So if you want to see the beginning of the video, you can watch the recording when it's over. And then we grab the hive. I love our dies, our new dies now, because they center around the images so well. So you run that through the die cutting machine, and with the magic of television again, you are going to come out with your hive and your 2 bees. Now I also have a piece of soft suede. You can use a scrap, but this one happens to be 2.5 by 2 1/4. And you can put the honeycomb die in there. And then, magic of television, you come out with this really neat honeycomb. Isn't that pretty? I like that. I think that's really neat looking. So you're like, oh, that's got so many little spots. I'm going to have that hiding behind my hive. Let me put that white underneath it again. It's hard to see it with that Pierce mat. There we go. So what I'm going to do, get that out of the way because we don't need that right now. I know I want it to be up here. So this is the side I want to put my snail on. Just put on a little more than I normally do. Then I will take this and put it about right here. So now it's stuck on the back of here, and I'm not going to worry about putting glue back here because it's on there really well. So the hive is going to keep it on there. So I'm going to grab my rectangle piece, put some snail in here, and I am going to go ahead and go over the honeycomb again here, so that way it stays on my this rectangle without popping off. And my honeycomb is going to hang over the top, but that's okay. That's the look I'm going for. Okay, so we've got that on there. Hi, Karen. So we've got this here. Now I'm going to bring in my bees. Actually, let's go ahead and put this on the card base before I start putting them on, because I'm going to put these on with dimensionals again. Grab my glue again, since I'm putting it on some embossed cardstock. Put that glue around here. Okay, I'm making sure I put some glue on top of that ribbon so it stays stuck. And then put this down here at the bottom corner. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, that's right, we need to put it up here if we're going to stick with the, well, that's okay. We just switch the sides, which you can do in a card sketch too. If I'd done, since a card sketch was like this, this would have been down here, and turning it over, this should have been on the top. And since I've got that up there, we're not going to do that. That works, but this is another way you can do it. You can just shift it down a little bit, and you're really using the same card sketch. And now we're going to go ahead and put this on like this, and put it on the card base. Didn't think about that when I made this card earlier today. And that's going to go on just like so. And now we're going to put our pretty bees on. I'm going to grab my dimensionals wherever I threw those. Oh, there we go. I only need one on this bee. Just put it right in the center. This one I'm going to put one on each wing, and that'll hold it quite nicely. Let's go ahead and get the paper backing off of here. Well, if I can get hold of the bee. The bee's moving on me. Glad he's not real. I'm allergic to bees. I like them when they're on stamped images, but not in real life. Put him right there. Get the paper backing off of here. Now these colors are not the ones I normally do with this set, but I wanted to stick with the colors in the designer paper, and I really thought it looked pretty cool with those colors. So that's a different color combo for the Honeybee set. So now we've got the outside done. Now I'm going to grab the inside. This one is a 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to stamp my pretty big bee. Okay. Oops. I'm going to put him or her here in the bottom. Color those little stripes again with my crushed curry marker. And the little lines here that are pretty detailed swirls. Now we've got that pretty bee. Love that bee, isn't he? He's just cool. I am going to miss this bundle. So like I said, this is one that's retiring. The dies are while supplies last. The stamp set is available till May 15th, and then while supplies last after that. But if you want to get the bundle, that is while supplies last. If you want to get both of them in the bundles, you save 10%. So there we go. That's using the same card layout on all 3 cards. Now I'm going to switch real quick. There's the original. And while you're looking at that, I'm bringing in all the cards I just made. Go back to my other screen. This is the one that used the original card sketch without making any changes. Then we rotated it and made this one. And this one I meant to rotate it and forgot what I was doing, but we just put the strip from the original on the right side. So that gave you 3 totally different looking cards using the same layout. Here, let me see if I can get all these in here. There we go. Lost my chat on YouTube again. Let me pop that up. But I love being able to use one card sketch and get so many different looks. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll be back again next Friday. Oh, my camera moved on me. That's okay. You don't care if I'm not centered, right? But I'm glad you came and joined me this Friday. I'll be back again at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And don't forget about the online party I'm doing with the group of demonstrators I've done some parties with here lately. I'll hurry up and get that screen up again for those of you that missed it. On April 28th, we're doing a quick 8-hour class on Facebook showing all our favorite retired things. I'll be doing a Facebook Live along with everyone else. They'll each do their own. And we'll show you our favorites. And make sure you look at the bottom description that has the link to the group and the answers to the questions you have to answer, so we get make sure it's just customers that join. And the other thing we do that, we have had people try to hack into the group. So it's just a way for us to take care of our customers. We don't want any hackers in there doing some weird stuff. So I'll see you again next week, and hopefully I'll see you Tuesday. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.